Hello, here's a very quick unboxing. This is the Lemorele wireless HD transmitter and receiver kit. So let's get it opened and see what it is, and have a look and see what you get. The actual box has got a little bit of information on it, but you can pause that and read it if you want. I think it was about £20, £22. So there's a manual, and it's multilingual, which is why it's so thick. Let's look at the English section. So there's a connection diagram, quick description of what you get, how to pair it, there's a Q&A, and that's it. So it's obviously, you know, probably just what you need. Then there's two USB-C or USB-A to C cables. Interesting, not sure what they're for, maybe they're to power it, I don't know. And you get an HDMI extension lead, that might be kind of interesting. Don't know how well you can see that. I'll put those back and then you can get a better view of it. So HDMI extension cable, and then two USB A to C connectors, and these are the actual things. So I'll take that out of there. Nothing else in the box. So there it is, and you've got DC 5 volt 2 amp input there, and then that comes off and there's an HDMI. So I'm guessing you have to power it with the USB cables, or maybe you don't. Let's see if you have to or not. Please use the power adapter supplied with the product to supply power to the unit. So it looks like they need a USB power, which is going to be interesting. Anyway, that's what you get with it. So what I'll do is I'll have a play, and obviously if you think this is alright, then like and subscribe, and thanks for watching this bit, and I'll come back in a second after I've had a play with it. Thank you for still watching. This is the does it work bit of the video, and to cut a long story short, yes it does, but more on that in a minute. I'm going to take the camera off the tripod and show you a few things. So here's the transmitter bit plugged into the graphics card. This graphics card is plugged into quite an old machine. It's even got a floppy disk and parallel port connected on it. So this is going back a bit. The graphics card is an old NVIDIA one, and what I had to do to get it to fit was remove two of the hex bolts, 5mm hex bolts, just using a 5mm hex socket, funnily enough, and then it fits. That's because, I'll just grab this ruler here, stolen from the physics department of the school I used to teach at. It's about 3 centimeters thick. I don't know how well you can see that. So it's about 3 centimeters wide rather than thick. Thickness is the wrong thing, isn't it? So it's 3 centimeters wide. So it might struggle to fit on some things. Not necessarily modern TVs or modern graphics cards, because modern graphics cards tend not to have these chunky sockets on them. They tend to have nice HDMI and DisplayPort sockets. So you shouldn't generally have a problem. I'm just, putting this out there to say that it is okay to remove a couple of the bolts to get it to fit. And then when it does fit, you plug in the USB lead, and there it goes. And that powers it up, and you can see the lights on. And then, well, basically it works. Because at the other end, I'm using it with a Ninja 5. It's what I use to record screens now, and that's the receiver there, including the extension cable, was a work of absolute brilliance. So they could have put two in, that would have been helpful, but one is brilliant because, as you can see, the Ninja, and maybe your telly, has got HDMI sockets, and they're quite close together. They're all right for a standard cable width, but they're not all right when you've got something that's 3 centimeters wide. So having that extension cable, brilliant. Then it has the USB cable, and I've just chucked it into an old Nokia charger I had lying around. Generally speaking, if it's got a USB-A socket on it, then it's going to work, because they pump out 5 volts and it's fine. And it's all plugged in, and basically I just connected it up, turned everything on, and the display signal goes to the Ninja, which then puts it on the main screen. So brilliant. Completely plug and play, in the sense that it just works when you turn it on. They do have instructions about how to, I'll just find them in the manual, it's in here somewhere. They do have instructions about how to resync if it drops out, so you can sort of repair it like that. That's I think that's not only is that a precaution just in case it does it, but also when you can buy the transmitters on their own, so you can synchronize a transmitter to a receiver, and you can synchronize more than one transmitter, which is kind of cool if you've got lots of devices that you want to, transmit the signal to one device on. It's really designed for modern TVs and laptops, I think, so that you can get the signal and sort of project it onto the, so that's kind of cool. I would say that the box art is slightly misleading, because it kind of suggests that you just plug the dongle in and it works. And similarly, I'll show you in a minute about that. Similarly, I've tried it so that if you unplug the USB cables and just plug them in on their own, it don't work. So you have to have the USB cables plugged in. Now, the adverts on the website I bought it from, or the app I bought it from, do show that, but they do sort of tuck it away under the carpet a little bit. It's a bit like when you buy a McFlurry and you realise, and they give you the cardboard spoon. The McFlurry is delicious and wonderful, but the cardboard spoon is a nightmare. This isn't a lecture about the environment. They should do cardboard ones. Take a spoon with you. Joe from Friends does, doesn't he? Or has he got a fork? I don't know, I don't really watch it. But we've got metal spoons in the car anyway, for, not that we're addicted. I'll stop talking about McFlurries now. What I haven't mentioned is where it came from. You might have noticed that in the first part of the video, the unboxing, there is a subtle edit where I don't know how subtle it is, but because I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to cut out where I say where it came from. So I'm going to mention it now. And I got it from AliExpress, and here's the web page here. That's it there. And you look at the advert on AliExpress. I mean, it's £17.79 with 70% off. You can't. I mean, that's an astonishing price. It's incredible. I think I paid £20 for mine, because I've had it for a little while now. But it's still an incredible price. If you try and do, search for that on Amazon UK or any UK store, and they'll charge you 60 quid for a similar sort of thing. You can check if you like. And when you look through I'll put it down because I'm doing it holding the camera at the same time. And when you flick through it, you can see that on the images, they do show the cable, but your eyes are drawn elsewhere. And there's no cable on there. There's no cable on that one. That one has, I think, that has got a cable, but it sort of goes, well, you can look at, if you've got the AliExpress app, you can look on it, and anyway, and it's only on the last page where it shows you the contents of the box, which shows you the 2 USB. So I'm not saying it's misleading, but it is getting a cardboard spoon with your McFlurry. You do need the USB connections for it to work. So you can, and it's quite, to be fair, it is quite a long cable. This is the reason why I bought it. I bought it not because I want to project my laptop onto my telly, because I'm not bothered about doing that. I bought it because I've got what's called a Lazy Susan, which is basically a glass sort of sheet on a rolly stand, so I can rotate things. It's got a hole in the middle. It's meant for like patio furniture, where you put your umbrella in the middle and put your drink on it. You see them in restaurants quite a lot. It's just for spinning things around. So I can spin that around, and I'm not too worried about the mains cable. That's okay. That can, because that's got a bit of length in it. It's got a bit of give in it. It's quite a rigid connector. So, but what I was worried about when I was doing this, and it's either for making videos or when I'm repairing a system and I don't want to keep lifting it up and putting it down, lifting it up. The Lazy Susan makes life just, it's the best, whatever it was I spent, I've had it for years, one of the best I've ever spent. it's incredible. It's a very, very useful thing to have if you're involved with computers quite a lot, because you haven't got to keep picking the thing up and putting it down again. But I was worried that because HDMI cables are pretty thick, and also, you know, all the other ones, display ports are pretty thick. Even VGA's got a bit of a girth to it. That's probably an inappropriate word, but even it's got a, you know, and I didn't want to move the computer and have it so that it tugged on the cables, and because that could cause damage. So I got it because of that. So now what I can do when I've got a machine in the workshop where I am at the moment is I can plug that in, and I can then, I'm free to move things around as much as I like without worrying about it. So that's why I bought it. Again, I got it from AliExpress. I'm not sponsored by them. It is, but it is quite a brilliant thing. Of course, the other one is other online shops exist, river themed, and there's the Temu one where you just idly browse, and before you know it, you bought lots of little tiny things that are just insane. So that, yeah, stay away from the Temu one if you can, because it's quite addictive. But I was just idly flicking and I found it, and I thought, that'll do. I need that. That's going to come in very handy, and here it is, and it's brilliant. So if you've got any questions about it, stick them in the comments. Liking and subscribing is always appreciated. I'm not going to get rich from this, but it would be nice to get something, because it sort of funds doing this kind of thing. As always, thanks for watching.